Hello, this is Goku for the Sim 1, and I'm back. This time to make a video that is long overdue. So, this is going to be my first initial thoughts to the news that came out a couple weeks ago related to the greatest video game franchise of all time, and a quick outline concept of what I think they should do. So, what is this news? Well, I haven't been living under a rock. Have you? Legend of Zelda is getting turned into a live action movie. This is confirmed. This is not a rumor. So let's celebrate. Hell yeah! So, this worries me a little bit. The director is the director who did Maze Runner. That's about all we know. Nintendo's going to be closely associated with the film, so that does give me some hopes there. But now I'm going to go into, because I'm excited, I want to see more information, I want to see what they're going to do, but until then, this video is primarily going to be what I think they should do. What is a formula that I think would work? And I think I figured one out. So I've talked to a lot of people, and I've kind of come up with, I think, the best conceptual idea of what you should do, and then at the end I'm going to give some ideas of some gags and jokes they can also throw in. So, I want this to be a trilogy of one character going on an adventure through 3 different movies. The problem with that is they're not going to do that, at least not in the conventional way. So they could do it in the Star Wars way of you make a movie that is a beginning, middle, and an end. Even have a villain be defeated at the end of the film. But Zelda fans know that's not the story. That's not everything. So what do I mean and how do you do it? Well, it's simple. It's very, very simple. Simpler than you think. First, I think there should be 3 dungeons in the first film. And you might be going, that's a bit much. Is it? You can have a dungeon be 10, 15 minutes. That's 45 minutes of the film. You have plenty of time to have the other stuff. If it's a 2-hour film, you have plenty of time to have the other stuff in between that you need. A little adventure stuff. And 10, 15 minutes, plenty of time to go through the dungeon. Have a few simple puzzles that Link has to solve and fight a monster at the end. The film that I want to associate this with is Lord of the Rings. I think they should use a similar path to Lord of the Rings. This film is not going to be 3 hours. That is not a wishful thing. The sequels could be 2.5, 3 hours. Like the second one could be 2.5. The third one could be 3 hours if the film does really well. But the first film's not going to be over 2 hours. It will probably be 2 hours. It might be a little bit, but it's not going to be significantly over 2 hours. So how do I accomplish everything that I want in my mind and make it feel like a first film? Well, it's simple. You first have, and yet again, this is not like the story that they're going to tell. These are just conceptual ideas of how you get from point A to point B. So the first thing is he starts out somewhere, be it a cabin, be it the woods, somewhere where he then gets the call of adventure. At that point, he goes, he meets the princess, he finds out the jeopardy that's going on, and he finds out that there is some evil wizard that is trying to do some sinister thing. We don't know what that is, and that's not even going to be revealed in this film because that's not the important thing. We just know wizard doing evil things. Very, very common Zelda trope. Then he is told that he has to go to the Temple of Time to get the Master Sword because that's the only device that's going to help him stop this evil wizard. Problem is, he needs 3 amulets, or whatever the item is. So he has got to go to 3 dungeons to get 3 amulets. He gets all 3 amulets, dungeons happen, and the dungeon order should be something like a forest temple. Then then he has to go to the mountains where he meets the Gorons, and that would be a fire temple. And then he goes and meets the Zorons, and then a water temple. very simple, very straightforward stuff that's happened in several Zelda games. We're not trying to do anything complex. Now, the first temple might not be a forest temple. It might be something a little bit different, but it's in that conceptual vein. Okay, so those are your 3 temples that you're doing. Okay. Then, he passes all of them. He gets the artifact. He gets the Master Sword. And then he has to go defeat the evil wizard. He goes to do it. And he wins. The world is saved. Until the sequel, when you find out the wizard was actually resurrecting Ganon, and Ganon is the villain for the next 2 films. No, Ganon is not the villain for this film. Ganon should not even be referenced by name, potentially. You might be able to do it, but you don't need to. Furthermore, a conceptual idea, one idea that I hope they do in this film, first of all, is Link should have one traveling companion. In a lot of these films, you have like a full cast. And the cast is going to be there, but they're going to be there. Maybe when he goes to the Fire Temple, he's got to go on helping him. Fine. But then that character shouldn't follow him after that temple, after that part of the film. But he should have one traveling companion, and that is Epona. Epona should be in this film, and it should be a character that follows him. Yes, it's a horse that doesn't talk, but still, it's Epona. Epona should be throughout most of the film. You should get it early on, after he beats the first temple, you should get Epona. Maybe before, but definitely after the first. Now, the other thing that should be in this film, or another gag that I came up with that I think is really cool and would really add to the film, is an idea that in it, he gets a bottle. Inside the bottle, he doesn't know what it is, but it's a white orb with purple around it. And at the end of the second film, he dies. He fails. The villain of the temple that he's fighting, or whatever he's fighting, ends up defeating him. Maybe it's Shadow Link, something like that. And Link is dead. Film's over. Movie's done. But then the third one comes out, and guess what? It was a fairy in the bottle, and the fairy resurrects him. That's a cool way to subvert expectations, but then Zelda fans are going to know exactly what that is. Zelda fans are going to figure it out. So these are just ideas. But am I excited for the Legend of Zelda movie? Yes, I am. Bring it on! And the last thing I will talk about is we're one step closer to a Metroid movie. So I will end this by saying Metroid is the one Nintendo movie I want the most because I think it's the easiest to adapt. But I'm getting a Zelda movie. I got a Mario movie. I'm happy. I'm elated. So please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what Nintendo movie you want. And this was Goku Photo Someone. And guess what? I will see you next time.